Recently, George Janko and Russell Brand did a podcast episode, and I need you to hear this short clip.
Do you have a different type of eyes to a man that harms you now? Do you see differently at your enemies?
Yeah, I suppose you. I mean, as C.S. Lewis said, you have to forgive yourself because he forgives you. And why would we not forgive others? I can't set myself up as a higher tribunal than God. Forgiveness is a precondition. Now, even from a pre-Christian perspective, I understood the necessity of forgiveness from a practical perspective. So I'm not talking about from the sacred or the soteriological, I think is a word the study of life after death. I'm talking about it from a purely practical perspective. If I'm holding on to resentment or if I'm condemning others, it's difficult for me. Now, I experience still a lot of resentment. I do that. I do set myself up as a higher tribunal. I do occasionally reposition myself at the head of the altar. I continually do it. That seems to be the tension and dynamic that defines my life. Surrender absolutely to God. Oh no, I'm back in charge again. Like I read the other day, Luke 10:18, that I was there when Satan was cast out of heaven like lightning. I've given you the gift now, I'm paraphrasing, to walk among scorpions and snakes and cast out demons in my name. But remember, it's because your name is written in heaven. When I read that, there was so much that struck me hard. One, the casting of Satan out, because I understand Satan to be the kind of principle, as it were, the archetype of setting myself up as God, that Satan wants his own principality, that me, when I'm in sin, it's like I'm trying to set up my own circuitry and my own energy systems. I'm going to like defibrillate myself into life. I can use pleasure. I can use all of these things, find different ways to create my own dominion. I understand the satanic aspect of that now.
Essentially, what he's saying is if God has forgiven people, you cannot not forgive them as well, because what you would be implying is that you are at a higher level than God and you are a more righteous judge. Nobody is owed more from creation than God. So to not forgive somebody that God has forgiven is to imply that they owe you something that they don't also owe God, therefore putting you in a higher status than God, or a higher tribunal, as Russell Brand put it. You would be making your court of law, your justice, higher than the Lord's, and that is a problem. Forgive your enemies, for God has forgiven you and he has forgiven them. Secondly, when you play this game of withholding forgiveness, as Russell Brand so accurately and beautifully described, you set up your own system where you're not dependent on God anymore, or at least you're denying your dependence on God. You're trying to become independent from him, patching your own life together with your own pleasure and your own kind of righteousness, which is only self-righteousness, because to not forgive those around you is to reject the truth of your dependence on God and your dependence on the death and resurrection and sacrifice and payment and imputed righteousness of Jesus Christ. Those who don't forgive set up their own kingdom, but those who forgive and rely on Jesus Christ will be sustained by the Lord.